Otter Transcription changes? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. If you're not aware of who Otter is as a company, they're a transcription service. They have some pretty good software that works online for transcribing videos. What's transcription? Why would you use transcription? What is transcribing videos and what is Otter doing? Well, I'll go through that and answer it real quick for you here. Transcription is a real simple concept. The idea is when you put together videos with any type of speech on them, you want to have the ability to transcribe it, which means you upload a video, and you can do this with audio too, of course, but as long as it's spoken word, you can upload it to these pieces of software now. But at one time, it was all done manually by humans, listening, typing out, and the whole idea is that everything gets written down. Everything gets typed out. Nowadays, the AI is doing pretty darn well at taking just chunks of speech and turning it into typed out text. Why would you want to go about doing this? Why is it so common and so popular to do nowadays with content marketing? The reason goes way back, okay? Honestly, I could tell you when it comes to information products especially, I've got some 20-year-old, 30-year-old products here that started out as speeches or started out as some type of recording, and then they took and they transcribed it, and then they sell the transcription almost as if it's a book or some type of notes to go along with the original course. That was common then, and it's common now with podcasts and other things to offer transcriptions. Unto itself, it's more value. If you think about it, it's more value unto itself. But there's an extra element, especially when it comes to YouTube and some of these other platforms. It's a search engine optimization element. So when we talk SEO, if you have closed captioned background on your videos, that is something that becomes more easily searched and more easily indexed, meaning the words that you are using get picked up by Google a lot quicker because Google runs YouTube, and it gets spread out a lot quicker so that when people are searching through YouTube, searching through Google, they're not just finding what you've titled it and what you've put in the description. They're finding ideas that you presented just by speaking them out loud. So if you have that represented either in the form of a closed caption file, which is way originally was created so that people who are hearing impaired would be able to read what you're saying, but also it's one of those things that everybody, even people hard of hearing, my wife is hard of hearing, so we've got closed caption running on our TV a whole lot of times. It's a very common thing nowadays, and if you have issues with people with certain dialects or accents, sometimes people will use closed captioning for that reason. But also the fact that you can, if you just have some type of transcription tied to your video or audio podcast, if you have it in the description or in some other spot, that also becomes searchable. So you can have it on a blog post, you can have it anywhere else, and be able to add this extra element. Plus, there's a lot of people who would rather read than watch a video or listen to a podcast. And so I've done this on and off through the years with my podcast. Producer Shawnee Douglas is the one that's worked with Otter, and before that we worked with Temmie, and we've worked with a handful of others. Well, what happened with Otter? What happened with Otter is Otter came out of nowhere a couple years back and became one of the more well-known ones because they had a really good deal. They had a good pricing deal, a good free version available, and when they started charging, it had nice, easy ways to be able to get involved that really were competitive in comparison to everybody else out there on the market. And what ended up happening is, just like so many that try and win in the price game, somehow it was not penciling out all the way, I'm guessing, because now they're pulling back on the amount of service that they're offering for the same price. They're also pulling back on what they offer for free. And so this is just part of the game. This is part of the process. Somebody offers a really good deal right off the bat to try and get market share, but then after they have market share, the numbers don't quite work out for them for one reason or another. Who knows? More than likely, they came up with the deal long before they came up with whether it was going to scale long term. So it's not unusual. There are more services than ever. You can still get it in a really good price. You can still get it manually done by people either in your country or who are natural fluent speakers of your language, or you could get it outside of the country, and it may not be as good, but you get what you pay for one way or the other. And AI is getting better and better at being able to read this stuff and spit it back out. So really good stuff on transcription. It's something you really ought to look into when you're dealing with content marketing, because it's a way for people to find you, and it's an extra element of value for people that do end up finding you. So that's all I've got for today. Go check out the contentmarketingquestion.com. I keep saying the. If you're watching this, you can see it says contentmarketingquestion.com. It is a course, in a sense, a training that I put together to help you figure out whether content marketing is even right for you or not. If you already know that content marketing is right for you, this isn't the training for you. If you're not sure if content marketing is right for you, that's where you ought to be. You ought to check out this training. This will help determine one way or the other, finally, whether you should even spend any time or money or effort toward the content marketing game, because it is a fabulous way to go, but it's not for everybody. So check it out, contentmarketingquestion.com. That's all I got for tonight. You have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.